Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. We have a lot to cover, so let's dive right in. We're starting with a story that's been making headlines recently, involving Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko and his country's military cooperation with Russia. According to reports, Belarus has received an arsenal of Russian Iskander-M nuclear-capable ballistic missile systems, which Lukashenko says is a dream come true for him. The two countries have been conducting joint tactical nuclear exercises, featuring the logistics of loading nuclear warheads onto launch vehicles and advancing to designated positions. The Russian Defense Ministry released footage showcasing troop movements, warhead assembly, and combat aviation flights, with both Lukashenko and Russian President Vladimir Putin watching the final leg of the maneuvers via video link. The Kremlin says these nuclear drills are intended as a deliberate signal to EU and NATO countries, while Lukashenko claims they're not threatening anyone but will defend themselves if necessary. It's worth noting that Belarus has been subject to Western sanctions over allegations of human rights abuses and its role in helping Russia stage its invasion of Ukraine. However, the U.S. has held talks with Belarus, leading to the release of hundreds of detainees deemed political prisoners in Western countries, in exchange for easing some sanctions. As the situation continues to unfold, we'll be keeping a close eye on developments and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. It's clear that the relationship between Belarus, Russia, and the West is complex and multifaceted, with many different factors at play. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're diving into the world of international relations and geopolitics in our middle segment today. A fascinating story has been unfolding regarding the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, commonly referred to as the Quad. This grouping consists of the United States, India, Japan, and Australia, aiming to promote a free and open Indo-Pacific region. The Quad has been attempting to counterbalance China's growing influence in the area, but it seems their efforts might not be yielding the desired results. According to recent reports, the Quad's public goods performance has been lackluster, leaving Southeast Asia less than impressed. On the other hand, their security activities have made China hedging states in the region wary. It's also worth noting that the United States has been shifting its focus towards hard security with a newer coalition dubbed the Squad, emerging as a potential replacement for the Quad. This new grouping includes the Philippines instead of India and is geographically better located to address sensitive theaters in the Indo-Pacific. While it's essential to acknowledge the complexities of international relations and the various factors at play, it's also crucial to recognize that the rise and fall of such groupings can have significant implications for global stability. As we continue to monitor these developments, it will be interesting to see how the Quad evolves and whether it can regain its footing in the region. The future of U.S.-China relations remains a critical aspect of this story, with both nations engaged in a delicate balancing act. The recent Trump-Xi summit in Beijing may have extended the economic truce, but tensions in the East and South China Seas remain high. As we navigate these intricate geopolitical landscapes, it's essential to stay informed and consider multiple perspectives. The Quad's story serves as a reminder that international relations are constantly evolving, and adaptability is key to navigating these complex waters. Welcome back to the closing segment of Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I'd like to bring you a couple of significant stories from around the world. First, Pope Leo XIV is set to visit Uruguay in November as part of a broader tour of southern Latin America, which will also include Peru and Argentina. This visit is notable especially in Uruguay, one of the region's most secular countries where church and state are formally separated. The Pope's connection to the region is deep, having been a missionary in Peru for decades. His visit is expected to draw large crowds, and it will be interesting to see how his message resonates with the people of Uruguay. In related news, Taoiseach Michel Martin recently met with Pope Leo at the Vatican, where they discussed several important issues, including the need for religious orders in Ireland to provide redress for survivors of sexual abuse. The Taoiseach emphasized the importance of these orders, engaging proactively on this matter, as some have yet to do so. The Pope was reportedly very clear and frank about the need for the Church to take ownership and support those who have been traumatized by abuse. This conversation is a significant step towards addressing the long-standing issue of clerical abuse in Ireland. The meeting also touched on the Pope's advocacy for peace, with Martin offering the assistance of Irish officials experienced in conflict resolution, referencing the Northern Ireland peace process. The Pope expressed interest in the Irish experience and was said to have an affinity and empathy with Ireland. While no commitments were made, the possibility of a papal visit to Ireland in the future is an intriguing one. As we conclude today's Barbarous Bulletin, these stories remind us of the complex and multifaceted role that religious leaders play on the global stage, from addressing historical injustices to promoting peace and understanding. It's crucial for us to stay informed about these developments, as they can have profound impacts on communities around the world. That's all for today's Barbarous Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.